What's going on, YouTube? It is Sharonc. Thank you guys so much for coming back. If this is your first time here, I hope you enjoy. Be sure to like, subscribe. Make sure y'all are leaving comments. I want to talk to y'all. I want to hear from y'all. I want to hear, I want to get feedback. I want to engage with y'all. So make sure y'all are leaving comments, and make sure y'all hit that bell. So if y'all hit that little bell up in the corner, right? Every single time I put up something, every time I upload a video, y'all be the first ones to know, okay? So come back. I want to build this sisterhood with y'all. I hope y'all enjoy this video. So as y'all can see by the title, I'm going to be doing what have my 20s taught me. So I am in my last year of my 20s, so I'm 29 years old, and I just felt like this was a time for me to just kind of like sit back and reflect on the last 9 years of my life, and like what have I learned, what happened in those years. I honestly feel like your 20s are like your learning years. It's just like so many different aspects of your life are just changing, like all in this 10-year span of time. And I feel like so much has happened in my life that I just felt like I just wanted to, I had to reflect on it. I felt like it was necessary for me to reflect on those things before I walked into 30. But I also wanted to just kind of like talk to you guys about it, give you guys some feedback on what I think. And I want y'all feedback. If you are in your 20s, how y'all 20s going, sis? How you holding up over there, okay? If you about to be 30 like me, like, listen, we almost there. We almost out of these 20s, okay? And if you're not in your 20s yet, like, are you excited about it? Because look, 21 used to be my ultimate goal, okay? I could not wait to hit 21. And I just felt like once I hit like 21, like I was an adult, okay? I was a full-blown adult. Now that I'm 29, I'm like, sis, adult where? What? Okay? So if you're not in your 20s yet, I ain't trying to scare you, sis. And if you just starting in your 20s, I ain't trying to scare you either, sis. I'm just letting you know, like, the 20s get real. Your 20s are your selfish years. Your 20s are your years to be selfish with your time and, kind of like really, I guess, zone in on you, who you are, what you're trying to do, what you're trying to become. And I just honestly felt like for me, I wasn't selfish enough. So I felt like a lot of my 20s was spent and when I say not selfish enough, I mean like just not really going hard for me. It was just I think so many things were just like unfolding in my life that when I look back, I'm like, yo, I wasn't selfish enough with my time. I wasn't selfish enough with like so many different aspects of my life, like relationships. Like I gave people way too many chances in relationships and friendships. Like, when it came to my time, like I wasn't really spending my time in ways that I should have. I wasn't really spending time like full blown investing in investing in me, investing in the things that I needed to do to kind of like put myself in a better place and in a better position in my 30s. I'm such a giving person. Like I give and I like to serve people and I like to be there for people and I like to just be that friend that's just like always showing up. And I appreciate that about me, and I don't want to give that up in a sense of being like so selfish that I'm just like, oh, forget everybody else, but selfish in a way where like this is my life, and so I'm going to be very, very strategic with my life these days. Like I'm gonna be strategic with my time. Like, yeah, I'm gonna continue to be giving, but I'm gonna be strategic with how much I give and who I give to. And yeah, I still want to build relationships and friendships, but I'm gonna be strategic with who I allow into my space. Like, it's just so many different things that like you have to really like think about it, and you have to really like understand that this is your life. And at the end of the day, no matter who comes or goes, you're still here and you're still stuck with your life. So you have to think about how you choose to spend it and how you choose to manage your life, basically. Then like that brings me to like relationships. So like when it comes to relationships, so as y'all know, like I'm divorced. So for me, I got married in my 20s and divorced in my 20s. And that was just kind of like a big deal to me. I spent almost all my 20s with the same guy. So I was with him for 8 years. So from 21 until 28. And I mean, when it comes to relationships, y'all, like you just never, like you never know what's going to happen, right? You jump in it and you hope for the best. And I will say that one thing is listen to the signs. Pay attention to the signs. Pay attention to the red flags. When you see them, pay attention to them. I feel like, as women, because of the way we love, we go so hard for people and we love so hard that sometimes we could just be ignoring all types of signs, honey. They be like, and we just be like, nope, ain't nothing gonna stop me from loving him because he is the one, okay? Blinded. It's like, no. And it wasn't even don't get me wrong, it wasn't all that bad. Like, we had a good relationship, we had a good friendship, we had good years. But when I look back at it now at like 29, and I'm 29 and I'm now divorced, and I just think like, could I have avoided this in a certain sense? Yeah, I'm sure. Because you just have to, like I said, you got to pay attention to the signs. And in your 20s, I feel like those are the years where you're learning so much about yourself and you're evolving. So like, where we were when we were 21 years old, the way we thought about life, the way we thought about each other, the way, like, what our goals were, what our frame of mind was, it was just total different from where I am and where we are now at 29 years old. We just had evolved so much. And so as we evolved, we just were evolving and we were growing like this opposed to like this. And I think that that's key. Like, you just got to be sure that whoever you're with, you got to, for one, pay attention to the signs in the beginning. And you got to also make sure that y'all have like minds, like goals, like morals, like standards. Because y'all don't have to be the same. Y'all don't have to be identical. That would be boring. Like, who want to be with somebody just like them? Like, I don't want to be with somebody just like me. I want to be with somebody who got a little something different, so I can, like, you know, some of you can rub off on some of me and some of me can rub off on some of you. But like, y'all have to, the core of certain things and y'all core values and things like that have to be aligned, because otherwise, like, y'all gonna end up like that, you know? And so, like, for me, like, while I am now divorced and I'm single at 29, I can't help but think like, dang, could it have been different? Could I have been, if I had waited a little bit, could I have been now 29, about to be married and about to live my best life for the rest of my life? I don't know. But again, like, everything is a learning experience. I look at everything as a learning experience. It was so much growth that happened through that experience. So yeah, so while I've lost that relationship, I am excited and ready for the new to come. Whenever it comes, Lord, whenever you decide to send them, I'm here and I'm ready, I'm available, and I'm waiting. Okay. Anyway, another thing is friendship. So like, I lost my best friend of 19 years in my 20s. Like, 19 years, be like, when I say that, people be like, no. And I'm like, yes. Could you imagine? Like, could you imagine, sis? Like, y'all know your best friend is like that one. Like, you know everything about me, sis. Like, everything. We do everything together. Like, that's y'all like this. So to lose that, it hurts. It hurts a lot. But again, it's one of those things where we were friends since we were 9 and 10. When you hit 20s, that's adulting. That's like, you're starting to do adulting here, okay? Like, I don't think you fully adulting at 21. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. But like 25, that's it. Real life adulting at 25. So what you were doing at 9 and 10 is not the same as 25. So you hit this point again where you just like, okay, now as we're evolving, are we evolving like this or are we evolving like that? And no matter what end of the spectrum y'all fall on, you have to learn to be okay with it. Like, you know, like, it'll hurt. You'll have to cry through some things. Like, you'll have to process those emotions, but you got to keep it moving. So like, for me, that's just what it was. Like, I just had to learn that the people, basically, in my relationship, like in my 20s, I learned when it comes to relationships and friendships, the people who are meant to be in my life will be here. God will make sure he positions me to the point where all the people that are supposed to be in my life will be drawn to me. And when they come, and when we link up, it's not going to be I lose them. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they're meant to be in my life forever, they're going to be in my life forever. If they're meant to be in my life for a season, they'll be in my life for a season. So I just had to like learn, like, I had to learn, kind of like practicing a little bit of like non-attachment, because when I get attached to you and I feel like I like you or I feel like I vibe with you on a certain level, I go hard for you. So when I feel like I don't get the same in return, like, it could be heartbreaking. And that's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, expectations lead to heartbreak, you know? Okay. And so it'd be nice for us all to be walking around here like not expecting that. But I don't expect that from nobody, okay? Because it's like, that's not reality. It's not like how life works. So you get drawn to people, you get attached to people, and then it goes one way or the other, and you got to live with it. So like, for me, I lost my friendship and I lost my marriage all in my 20s. And it kind of like, it shook me at first. I'm not gonna lie, it shook me to lose both of them. And then I had to be like, yo, like, but you still here. And like, while you don't have another best friend and you don't have another husband, God like literally has been putting people in your life to kind of like help carry you through certain stages of your life and through certain seasons, including this one. And I have a good support system. Like, I don't feel like I'm out here alone and by myself. I feel like I have good friends, good associates, good church family, good work family. I have good people around me. So like, no matter what you're going through, God always makes sure he provides you with something else. And what leaves, there's always something bigger and better coming. So I just have to wait. Wait in expectation, sis. Wait in expectation. Things I learned was to fully trust God, like I said. My life literally looks nothing like I expected it to look. Like if you would have asked me at 16 what was my life gonna look like when I was 30, I would have already probably had 2 kids. I would have definitely been married. I would have definitely been living in a nice big old house, driving a nice big old car. You know, I would have been a fashion buyer for somebody's company. I would have, you know, like been traveling every month, you know, one with my kid, one with Bay, like, you know, living it up, living my best life with my best friend, taking little, you know, girl vacations. And that's just not where I'm at right now. Like I am not at all at that place. Okay. Like life does not even almost look the way I thought it would look, but it is still so, my life is just so full. Like I'm so happy when I look at my life and I look at where I am, I'm still super grateful. Like, yo, like, it didn't look the way I thought it would look. It didn't look the way I had planned. And it didn't look the way like maybe society may tell you it's supposed to look. But it's starting to pan out exactly the way I feel like God has it. And so I'm starting to like fully trust him, because I used to get like overworked with stuff. Like, oh my gosh, like when I was trying to switch jobs, I was like, sis, was stressed, okay? Like fully stressed with this whole job situation. And when the moment that I was like, you know what? I'm going to stop stressing about it. I'm going to turn it over to God. God got to figure it out. I got a new job. Same thing with like my relationships. When I was stressing about it and just like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Like how, like why this keep happening? Why is this happening? Why is it going like this? God just like gave me the strength to walk away. Like it's just like literally so many things in my life. It's just like when I stop worrying and when I take myself out of it, and I fully just trust God, it turns out so much better. Like he literally turns it around. So I'm just learning to like fully trust God with my life, and whatever plan he has for me, just trust that it's going to work out. Trust that all things are working together for my good. And you know, yeah, I'm just out here enjoying the ride in the meantime. Okay. Number 4 is so like identifying my purpose. Like identifying my purpose has been a very interesting journey. And like, so like I said, like I love to like serve people. I have like this big heart. So I love to serve. And I identified that I was like really big into missions like years ago. Like, but then as I kind of went through so many things in my life, right? I went through so many different aspects of life. And I just started realizing like, yo, like I can help other girls and other women not have to go through everything that I went through. Like everybody still has their own walk in life. Everybody's still going to have their own levels of like trials and tribulations and their own set of like lessons. But to a certain extent, like sometimes when you have somebody who's been through something or who's been through so much and they can literally talk to you and they can tell you about their story, you can kind of in some way avoid doing the same exact thing and making the same exact mistakes, just because you have somebody that you could be like, yo, sis, this is how it happened for me. It ain't gonna necessarily happen for you the same exact way, but this is the mistakes that I made and this is what happened. And flip side of that, like not even necessarily just mistakes, but like I am doing well and I am here at this place in my life because I did this. I just felt like, yo, like I have a lot to say to other young girls and other young women. And I feel like I have a lot that I can like pass on to them and they can learn from. And that's when like I discovered my purpose in my 20s. I discovered that I was supposed to be doing things like this, like making a YouTube channel where I'm literally just sitting here talking to other girls, other women, building sisterhood, building connections. Because like I said before, like I feel like there's such a other with women, like we just feel like it can only be one head chick in charge. There can only be one pretty girl. There can only be one fly girl. There can only be one. And it's like, sis, we all can be fly out here. We all can be pretty out here. We all can be doing our thing out here. Like, just took all of us and we put us all together. Like, imagine how forceful we could be. Imagine how beautiful this could be. Imagine the things that we could accomplish if we brought it together. So like for me, I realized that was part of my purpose. And I think that has been like the biggest revelation that I've gotten in my 20s. And like, especially with social media, bro, like social media is changing the game for me. For a lot of people, but especially for me, like I try to be like transparent on my social media, and I try to like give a little bit of like every piece of my life on social media. And I've had so many young women and girls and like just people my age come to me and like slide in my DMs and say stuff like about how inspiring I am and how much they look up to me and how much of a role model I am, and how I've helped them kind of like build their relationship with Christ or build self-confidence, and like tell me stuff like, yo, you should start, you should have women's seminars, and you should do this and you should do that. And I feel like it's just been pushing me, literally pushing me into my purpose. School and career. So in my 20s, like I've gone to school in my 20s and I've quit school in my 20s, child. Okay, like I told y'all before, if y'all have watched my 29 facts about me, y'all have heard this, but if not, go watch it. But I didn't graduate from college, and so in my 20s, like I went to college straight out of high school, so I was a teenager, and then I had to move back home, and I was going to like a local community college, and I was just so distracted. Like school was not on my priorities, like on my list of priorities. I was worried about my little boyfriend. I was worried about, hanging out with my friends. I was worried about trying to get a job. Like I was worried about everything but school. And so like I ended up just stopping. Like I just didn't finish. And I think that over the years in my 20s, I've definitely realized that, like, especially like getting into corporate America, I now work in corporate America. I realized like you don't have to have a degree to be smart. Like what? A degree? Like I don't need a degree to tell me my level of intelligence. Like I know more than some of these people with 5 degrees. No shade. But you know what I'm saying? Like I just realized that like some people hold certain things like on a pedestal. Like, oh, you gotta have a degree, a master's degree, a doctor's degree, and all of that is decent. It's admirable, and I applaud any and everybody who even graduates college. Like, even if it's with an associate's degree, sis, like, whatever you got, go you. Like, that's big, that's decent. But I just realized for myself, like, because when I got out of college, or when I got out of high school, it was just engraved in my mind that, like, you got to go to college in order to be like successful, or in order to look like you didn't just kind of like let the ball drop on your life. Okay. You got to go to college. And that's what I did. And then I realized like at a certain point, like, okay, after I stopped going and it was something in me that just wanted to go back. And then I was like, well, why do I want to go back so much? And I felt like still it was like a stamp of approval. Like if you go get this bachelor's degree, then boom, now you could say like, oh, you got a degree, and now your mom could brag and da-da-da. And then I just was realizing like my purpose in life is not tied to a degree. Like I know for sure it isn't. I'm not saying that a degree couldn't help me, but what I really ultimately want to do, what I feel God is calling me to do, isn't tied to a degree. So that degree is not going to give me any stamp of approvals in my brain. But at the end of the day, I am considering going back for reasons like when it comes to my career. Like I want to continue to blaze in my career. Like right now I work in corporate America, and I just recently got a promotion. So like toward the end of last year I got a promotion, and that's big because in corporate America it's hard to get promoted, number one, and especially in my field. And to get that level of promotion without a degree is kind of like huge for me. And while I know like I feel like that was nothing but God's favor in my life, I also feel that if I want to continue to excel, and I want to continue to break through glass ceilings, and I want to continue to be one of those powerful Black women in corporate America, breaking down all types of barriers and standards, I know that a degree will be necessary. Like it's just the facts. It's just how how the cookie crumbles. And so I'm definitely considering going back to school, but it no longer has the same meaning that it used to have. I used to look at it as like, okay, well, you ain't popping unless you got a degree, or you won't be successful unless you go to college straight out of high school. And now at 29, I'm looking like, sis, my level of intelligence is not determined by what level of degree I have. But I do understand that like in the real world, in corporate America, especially, if you want to get far, you're going to need that degree, sis. Okay. If you want to make that bag, you're going to need a degree, sis. So yeah, so that's just a few of the things that like, I feel like my 20s have taught me. And I hope that it was a little bit of, just a little bit of like encouragement to y'all who are still in your 20s or who are going through your 20s. And then like if you are like at that point, or maybe you already in your 30s, or maybe you about to step out to them 30s like I am, like I hope that like some of that stuff kind of resonates with y'all. And if it did, comment below, like let me know, like what have you experienced, what have your 20s taught you? And if you haven't hit 20s yet, what are you most excited about in your 20s? Like I just felt like if I had other young women or other women period who just kind of like shed that level of light for me as I was approaching my 20s and I was like moving to that stage of my life. And if they could kind of look back and kind of like a letter to yourself. You know how some people be like, oh, write a letter to your 20-year-old self, and you know, what would you say if you could? And like, this is kind of like it for me. Like, this is kind of my letter to myself / y'all. Like, let your 20s be your years of like extreme growth, extreme focus, and still also having fun. Like, make sure you are doing all that your heart desires, because you can literally have all that your heart desire in life. But you can, you know, you could start ahead of the game, or you could start, you know, a little later in the game. And no matter when you start, trust and believe me, you still can get to your ultimate destination. You still can accomplish great things. You can still have a good, healthy, happy, full life. And I feel like I started a little later in the game, honestly. I feel like I'm just, you know, some of these things that I'm just realizing, or like my aha moments, are coming at 29, or they came at 28. And now I'm ready to fully walk in that. And I'm ready to fully live in like freedom, and live in like wholeness, and just live in like accepting that like what was, and what is to come is, you know, is about to be better than everything that was. Okay. So yeah, so I hope this was good to y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope y'all get something out of it. And I hope I see y'all here again. So until the next video.